In every organization, there's one group holding the whole operation together. Not the top, not the bottom, the middle. Today, three of the sharpest minds in middle management step up to the mic. Jeff Sigel, Lisa Wood, and Sally Foley-Lewis. Each brings a different lens, one shared mission. Decode what it really takes to lead from the middle with confidence, clarity, and impact. Same questions, three perspectives. Get ready for insight that cuts through the noise and goes straight to the operational heartbeat of your organization. Let's dive in.
There's always a lot of talk about whether we need a middle layer at all. And I find it always fascinating because the people who seem to question whether we need a middle layer or not are always like people like Zuckerberg, who have actually never been in the middle. And I think it just really indicates a fundamental understanding or misunderstanding of what the middle does. So I think one important thing to recognize is there will always be a middle. Even with AI will change the work that we're doing, but there is always going to be people who have to kind of guide that work, and there's going to be people above them who are sort of leading and inspiring those people, and then there's people above those people. So there's always that layer in the middle. There's going to be a layer between the people at the top who are thinking about strategy and where an organization is going, and and the people who are actually doing the work. So there's always going to be a middle, and I think the key is to understand what it is that the middle does. And the middle's role, which is always about inspiring, coaching, course correcting, and most importantly, transmitting that strategy from the senior leadership down to the front lines. It's always going to be necessary that we have that. But if we don't understand that that's what they do, then we sort of say, oh, all these people do is sort of transmit orders from the top to the front line. And so why do we need them? We can just transmit those orders directly. And the reality is that kind of misses the human element. The human element says that everybody needs to feel like they have a purpose. Everybody needs to feel inspired. Everybody feels like they need to know that they are prepared to do the things that they need to do, that they are well trained, that the processes that they are following are correct and valuable and drive the business. So I just don't see a situation where the middle really is ever going to go away. What we need to do is get really, really clear on what it is the middle does, and then really train people at every level to understand what that middle role is for.
I think this question comes up a lot, and I find it so lazy. It's like saying, oh, the middle is too difficult, too complicated, can't be bothered to manage it, let's just remove it. But I think that is so dismissive of how critical the middle layer is in organisations. And I think it totally misunderstands, or maybe not even misunderstands, completely misses what the middle actually does and how key it is. So for me, I think middle managers are the bridge in organisations. They translate big strategic ideas into real action. Senior leaders set the vision, but it's the middle that actually turns that vision into work that people can understand and deliver. Without that translation, teams get confused, priorities drift, and momentum slows in organisations. I also think that the middle is the anchor for organisations. Those individuals who are in the middle are close enough to the team to notice when someone is finding things tough or when someone needs to shift in order to keep performance healthy. They offer the clarity, the encouragement, and the support. They are really there day to day in the thick of it, so much more than senior management is. If you take the middle away, then senior leadership, the executives, are going to have to get far closer into the operation. They are going to have to be in the detail. So it's so important that the middle is there to help navigate those everyday challenges. On that basis then, that closeness to people, that's where culture lives too. So again, your senior executives can set the vision for the culture, the intention, the aspiration, but it's those middle managers that are bringing the values to life moment by moment. They influence how people communicate, how feedback is shared, how success is recognised. That's where culture is built. And then finally, I would say, this is really where change happens. You know, they really help in the middle managers, they really help organisations to adapt. They connect the why of change to what it actually means for real work on the ground. You know, they steady the people, the operation through uncertainty. They spot early signs of risk and opportunity because they're close enough to that detail. That really allows organisations to adjust quickly rather than react slowly when problems escalate. So for me, it's not whether we still need the middle. I think we do need the middle. I think it's how we support, evolve, develop the middle and really enable those individuals to deliver effectively, efficiently on the day-to-day basis and demonstrate how successful that middle can be.
Imagine a world already, and imagine a super, super large organisation that just has no middle. There are no middle managers. So then think about what that would look like from a day-to-day perspective. What would that look like when a strategy and a vision is set for where the organisation wants to go, and how that messaging is sent out through the organisation? And that's where it really fascinates me, these discussions around how, you know, we get rid of the middle, and then what I am left pondering is, how does a strategy get translated into operational language so that people who have to implement the strategy actually know what they're doing? And it's not that they couldn't work it out, but we need that guidance around translating strategy into operations so that we are actually doing the right work, it's understood in the way it's intended, but also we are meeting that human element. We aren't robots yet, and also we aren't doing work the same way we used to do work, 60 to 100 years ago. We have a far more understanding of how we need to engage with the human so that there's a sense of purpose. And I think that that's really critical, that that's a role that the mid-level leaders play. And yes, we will have advancements that will get rid of certain roles, and we'll have advancements that will get rid of certain tasks, but we will never be able to get rid of the human. And so I want you to imagine a world of no middle managers and what that would actually feel, look, sound, smell, taste like from a perspective of a day-to-day running of an organization. And how much confusion, how much more work would need to be done in order to understand what needs to be done. What work are we doing? What does that mean? What does that strategy mean? What does that vision mean? If I'm an operational person, how do I make sense of that strategy for what I have to do? How does what I do connect to that strategy? And that's where the middle plays a massive part in not just connecting humans and engagement and motivation, but understanding what to do as well. And I think that's why we still need a middle.
You've just heard from 3 leaders who have dedicated their careers to strengthening the heartbeat of every organization, the middle. Jeff Sigel brings more than 2 decades across global food, grocery, and restaurant giants and a mission to build better workplaces from the inside out. He's a coach, author of The Middle Matters, helping leaders at every level increase their impact. From Cape Town, Robyn Wood is the middle manager coach. Her own leap into senior middle management sparked the confidence crisis that transformed her life and career. Today, she helps managers rebuild their confidence, sharpen their self-awareness, and thrive through GRIP Coaching's practical, high-impact development programs. Sally Foley-Lewis has spent over 20 years in the trenches and the boardroom, working with more than 20,000 managers across industries and continents. She's a global award-winning speaker, author, and educator who equips managers to be confident, capable, and courageous, and delivers the tools that lift performance fast. 3 experts, 1 shared passion, helping middle managers succeed where it matters most. Stay connected, keep developing, and keep leading from the middle.